All right, we visit with one of the Rams up front as starting offensive guard, Pride of Dickinson and Jake Kubas. And come into this when you first went into camp and you come into this now, you kind of look back at it 3-4 years. You know, is it? I'm always kind of curious. You know, you come in wide-eyed and everything else. Now you come into it, it's just kind of business as usual now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of learn the ins and outs of camp and our process as a program as you progress through our program every year. So yeah, you show up in year 6 feeling like an old guy. It's pretty business as usual, like you said. Because
it almost feels like you're going to work, isn't it? Basically,
a little bit, yeah.
What are the things that you maybe tell the freshmen and guys? Maybe not so much. Well, obviously preparing yourself to play physically, but just kind of going about routine is so. Athletes always say that routine is so important.
I think the biggest message I try to get across to the young guys is that college football isn't all it's made out to be when you're in high school. It's hard. It's hard work. It's hard to show up every day and go and smack faces with other people all day and get banged and bruised all day long and try and learn a playbook, try and learn your schemes and your offense. And I say the big thing is just to tell them to lean on their brothers, lean on their guys in their class and the vets, ask them for advice because you need some help. You're not going to get through it on your own. I think that's a big part of our program is keeping each other up and helping each other when we're down.
You know, it's always a time of transition in the offensive line. You lose 2 really good ones, especially in Cody and what he's going to be playing on Sundays now. But I think of Mason Miller, who lost most of his season due to injury as well. And not that you're completely starting over, but it's just like you almost got to kind of hit reset and prepare yourself for another season.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have said it around here. It's just kind of next man up mentality, and I think that epitomizes our O-line room, the Rams. And guys are stepping up, coming into camp practices every day and trying to be 1% better every day and just keep improving their craft and their technique. And I think that'll get us where we want to be come September 2nd.
How much do the fullbacks and the tight ends work with you guys? And there's a little bit of back and forth, I'm sure, with those guys.
They're probably the room that is most similar to us in terms of mentality and kind of jokes we like to crack. And, of course, we have to communicate with them on a lot of our schemes and concepts. So I'd say we're pretty close with the crew chiefs.
Is it something where, you've played guard mostly, but, I mean, you've seen guys move around that knowing that the next man up mentality, but who knows what injuries are going to take place, so you might guys are going to have to move around a little bit. You got to be flexible.
Yeah, so our O-line room attacks our installs in a manner where everybody learns every position. Mm-hmm. Everybody has to know what all 5 are doing so we can work as a cohesive unit at all times. So if it came down to it, any one of us could probably play any position. The most difficult one would probably be center because you got to get the snapping down a little bit. That's a pretty important part of a play. But, I think all of us would take some practice reps. I think we'd be pretty comfortable playing any of the positions.
You see, at this point, did you see yourself 6 years from now that you'd be still playing football one final time?
Shoot, if you would have asked me 6 years ago if I would have even been starting for the Bison, I would have told you were crazy. I got to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, and you have such a family history with your dad and dad and your siblings as well. It's got to mean a lot.
Yeah, this place means the world to me. We had Coach Hager out this week, and a lot of the messages that he talked about, stories he talked about, are a lot of things I heard growing up. I don't think he realized it, but he played a major role in my upbringing through my old man, and this place is just very near and dear to my heart.
Like I said, growing up watching in the days of Rocky as a kid as well. What's the best story you ever heard from Coach Hager?
I don't know. He spoke on a lot of stories where a lot of our traditions stem from, or maybe some of our Bison pride stems from. A lot of people may know some people may not know of the story of Mike Whetstone, diagnosed with cancer shortly after his playing career when he was a GA, I believe. And, we talked about that the other day, and just the importance of Bison pride and sticking together as a brotherhood and being there for one another at all times, no matter the cost.
In your master's program now, what would you like to do with that when football's all done?
We'll figure it out when we get there.
All right. I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.